What's up, guys? Hopefully I'm not wrong this time, but we're back with episode 2 of the day. Let's get in it. Creep kills my duck, so I ruin his life. So, here's my story. Back in May of 1990, there was an unseasonably late snowstorm. A few days after it snowed, I was riding my bike and found a baby duckling all by itself near a river. There was no mother duck around, so I put it inside my shirt to keep it warm and brought it home on my bike. My mom thought it would die because it was so small and cold and wet and shivering, but I put it under a light and after a while it dried off and started hopping around and peeping. It was so cute. It followed me like a puppy. I called it Philip because it sounded like it was saying Philip, Philip, Philip whenever it peeped. So after a few weeks, I figured I ought to teach it to swim and eat stuff in the lakes. So I started bringing it to the local beach. Philip did well. He swam around and ate weeds and snails, and everybody at the beach loved him. Now my troubles started after I brought Philip to the beach several times. The lifeguard told me that his boss, the director of Park and Recreations, who will be known as Stuffed Shirt, had told him that there was a city ordinance against bringing pets to the city parks. I tried to explain to the lifeguard that it was only for a few weeks, and then the duck would be grown up and be able to live on its own. But he didn't care. I was upset. How was I going to teach the duck to live on its own? I went to the library and got out the large blue books of city ordinances and looked up the relative ordinance and discovered something interesting. There was one ordinance that prohibited bringing dogs into city parks and another that prohibited bringing horses into city parks, both of which I see happening fairly often, by the way, but no ordinance against bringing ducks into city parks. So I went home and called Stuffed Shirt. However, it being a weekend, he wasn't in, so his secretary answered the phone. I told her what happened and what the ordinances actually said, and told her to tell Stuffed Shirt that I will be bringing my duck to the beach anytime I felt like it. Well, apparently when Stuffed Shirt heard this, his head exploded. He called me back and told me that he had had a conference with the city attorney about my duck, and according to him, the city attorney had decided that the law should be interpreted to refer to all domestic or pet animals, not merely dogs or horses. Then, he said he had called the DNR because I was not supposed to have a duck. Now, please note the following at this point. 1. Attorneys are not privileged to interpret the law, only judges are supposed to do that. And the law was not ambiguous such that it required interpretation. One specifically said dogs, the other specifically said horses. 2. Note that at this point, my duck was referred to as a domestic animal. Anyway, a few days later, the DNR agent shows up at my house and marches right into my backyard without ringing the doorbell and without a warrant. We'll call him Butt Buddy, because I suspected that was his relations to Stuffed Shirt, as he wasn't even from my city. Stuffed Shirt had gotten him to come over from another city. I was in my backyard at the time feeding Philip, my duck, and Butt Buddy proceeds to read me the riot act. First, he tells me that my duck was a wood duck, which is a wild animal, after Stuffed Shirt had previously referred to it as a domestic animal. And this was a lie, by the way. I learned later my duck was a mallard, which can be considered either wild or domestic, depending upon the circumstances. Then, he tells me that I can't have a wood duck, which my duck wasn't, without a game farm license, and that I couldn't get a game farm license unless I had 40 acres of land. He then told me that I either had to let my duck go by the end of the day, or he would confiscate it and take it to a lake in another town, where I would never see it again. I told him my duck was too little to let go, and I was going to let it go in a month. But he wouldn't hear it. He told me I had to do as I told him. I was crying as I let my poor little duckling Philip go on the lake. I went back that evening to check on him, and he was cowering, terrified under a boardwalk. The next day I couldn't find him at all. He'd probably gotten eaten by something because he was way too little to let go. Then, would you believe it? The next week, Butt Buddy, the game warden, came back onto my property without permission again to make sure the duck was not still there. Now onto the revenge part. After losing my duck, I went to the library and spent hours looking up the laws about wildlife and game farms, and I found something very interesting. Butt Buddy had lied to me. As it turned out, you only needed 40 acres of land to get a game farm license on land where hunting, trapping, or killing animals was going on. Otherwise, there was no land requirement to get a game farm license. Only a pen size requirement, which my pen for my duckling was more than met. If I was devastated and crying my eyes out before, now I was so furious that my head was exploding. They killed my duck, not because it was the law, but just for some ego trip. So I got even. I was a town eccentric, so I didn't have any reputation to lose and didn't care what people thought of me. I spent the next several weeks walking around downtown and telling everyone who would stop and listen about my duck, and how Stuffed Shirt and Butt Buddy had lied to me and made me condemn my own pet to death. Maybe people thought I was nuts, but I didn't care. Everyone was finding out what happened, and Stuffed Shirt was scared. I had a friend from work who also worked part-time in his office, and she told me he was so frightened that he had gone to a lawyer to try and pursue a slander charge against me to get to stop telling people what had happened. Only the lawyer told him that there was absolutely nothing that could be done because the truth was an absolute defense against slander. And if he didn't like the truth, whose fault was that? Stuffed Shirt's critical mistake, of course, was actually filing a complaint with the DNR so that he could get Butt Buddy Game Warden to legitimately intimidate me into releasing my baby duck way too soon. The DNR, like all government agencies, keeps records. If he tried to claim I was lying and slandering him, there was documented proof of what had happened. So the outcome? Stuffed Shirt lost his cushy city bureaucratic job as the director of Park and Recreations. And the last I heard of him, about 10 years after this happened, had lost 2 other jobs. His house, he couldn't make the payments when he had no job. His wife, who didn't want to stick around when he had no job. And was somewhere in a trailer park, drinking himself to death. I hope he did too. Alright guys, we're just gonna stick with the one story, cause I got a pretty beefy bonus I want to get into with today's r/choosing beggars. Can I have it? Mine's broke. It has headphone jack. Yeah, it's good for me. Okay, just making sure. So, 20 bucks? What price you thinking? I don't know even. Is it old? No, like came with my iPhone which I got in 2015 to 2016. Never used. iPhone SE. Do you need money for it? Cause I'm broke, I think. How do you not know? I think I'm living under a mound of crippling debt, but I can't be sure. Like, what the hell? Well, I'm selling it for money cause I'm also broke. Oh well. I can drop it down to 15 if you want. Well, both of us are broke, so... I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. Lowest I can go is 15, otherwise I'm ripping myself off. I will take it for free, but I don't know, I can get the money. I don't know about that, because I had that happen before, and he literally took it and moved school, so I never saw him again. Oh, but yeah, it's so old. That's not how it works though. Well then, I don't think I'll take it, because paying is going to be hard for me. Okay, you can contact me again when you have the money, and I can sell it to you if I haven't already. Okay, thanks. No prob. Oh, that wasn't so bad. They kind of ended it. Oh, no, we're not done? All right. But can I see it? Like, out of the case? To see if it's worth it? I've never took it out. Since I never took them out of the wire, I bet it to how it was originally. All you have to do is straighten them out with a light pole, and it's all good. Can I just borrow it? Please? I don't know if I'll get a new phone. No. The whole point of selling is to trade. In this case, money and headphones. Can we trade? What? A trade for a Tudor. Trade. Trade what? Anything. 25 bucks. 15. I don't know though. Last time someone gave me the same thing for free. That's not a trade. That was someone, not me. Well, it's just old headphones. Well, they are still worth money. Just allow me. Allow you what? You are just gonna waste the money. What are you talking about? You are buying the headphones off me. That doesn't make sense because that money would be mine, so it wouldn't matter to you what I did with them. Never mind, bro. Yeah, nice try. I wasn't trying to trick you, bro. Like crap. Calm. I know, bro. Okay. Dang, that was getting a little heated. Glad that one's over. Oh, still not done? Really? Alright. But you would give it to your friends for free, and you don't need it. So give it for free. Ask your parents for money, bro. What do you mean? I'm not giving it to you for free. Listen, kid, this is how business works. I have a product, and you want it, so you buy it. Are you gonna go to the store and tell them that he would give his products to his friends for free? You must be dumb to think that because I'm not giving away things that I paid for free. So stop begging and telling me to take money from my parents. And if you truest want it, then buy it. I'm not buying it from you because you think I'm a kid when you're the dummy kid. So, and you just want to hug it for your... Hug it? Okay. And you just want to hug it for yourself instead of just giving it to other people. Like crap. What are you going on about? I actually don't want it anymore. I'm not dumb for selling a product. And I'm not a stupid kid. And I'm not a stupid kid. Sure, if you don't want it, then stop texting, LOL. Fine. Bye, stupid. Okay, bye. Just go to a restaurant. But my mom used to give me meals for free. So what do you think you're doing charging me for food? Dating me equals $1,100 a month. She's gonna pay $1,100 a month? Whoa, fellas better get in line. Rent equals $300. My nails, $100. My hair, $100. Taking me shopping, at least $300. Utilities, $200. Spending money, $100. No, I think I prefer the money flow in the other direction. Let's switch that up. If you date me, my bills are a package deal. Either you support me or GTFO. The story of how my great uncle pulled the reverse Uno on his beggar wife and children. So my great uncle was this super cool dude. Air Force, worked on the fire service and on the rails. Took a 1929 car and redid it when he was 80. Basically, every little kid's dream because of his stories and stuff. Anyways, great uncle had begun to have health issues in his older years. This made him less active and therefore at home more, which made him grouchy. His wife and kids begun openly discussing in front of him how they couldn't wait for him to die, how they wanted him gone so they could sell his stuff for money, how they knew he had a big inheritance waiting for them and they wanted it ASAP. Well, I'm sitting there in the other room next to my great uncle hearing all of this, and he turns to me and just goes, "That's what they think." Minute those cretins started wishing me dead, I rewrote my will and none of them are in it. They have money. I'm giving my wife enough to live off of for 1 year, and the rest is for my funeral and to charities of my choice. Well, Uncle died later that year at 98 years old. It was a crap storm because everyone was expecting to get hundreds of thousands each, and there wasn't one of them who got $1. My great aunt got something like $5,000. Kids didn't get anything. He bought himself the most expensive casket the funeral home sold and a mausoleum just for him. I love that man. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, like usual, consider subscribing, and if you really liked it, maybe give it a thumbs up and a share. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.